Welcome to r/relationships. Here's a story of woe about a man and his cheating girlfriend. It's long and has 2 updates, so hang in there. It's worth it. I, male 22, just walked in on my girlfriend, female 21, of 7 years, having sex with my roommate, male 22. My last class of the day was cancelled, so I decided to come home and surprise my girlfriend. I went to the store and grabbed everything to make her favorite meal, lasagna. I was carrying the bags up the stairs and put them down in front of the door to fish my keys out of my pocket, and then I heard my girlfriend moaning. I thought that she was taking care of herself, because I know that she likes to do that sometimes when I'm not around, so I didn't have a sudden aha moment or anything. I walked in, and there were her and my roommate on the couch. I opened the door and kind of just froze when I saw it. She looked up at me, and he turned around and saw it was me, and I just saw red. As much as I wanted to, I didn't kick his butt. I just dropped the bags and walked away. As I was getting into my car, they both came running out and yelling at me to stop, but I just floored it and got out of there as quickly as I could. I called my best friend and talked to him about it. He offered to come kick his butt. I told him no. I didn't want him to get in trouble from it. I even had the engagement ring that I planned to use to propose to her this summer when we went on vacation. It's in my safe that I keep in the closet, so I know that she doesn't know about it. But I plan to spend the rest of my life with her. Why didn't I see this coming? My last class was supposed to start at 12, but since it was cancelled, I was home by 12:30. So, it's been 4+ hours. My phone has been blowing up from both of them. I haven't looked at any of the messages or answered any of the calls. I called my bank and made sure that she wasn't on any of my accounts for anything. I'm going to go back later tonight and pack up all of her stuff and drop it off at her place tomorrow. Then I'll probably take a bag of clothes to my friend's house and stay there until school ends. 3 weeks. What do I do next? Here's a comment before the first update. With your age and the amount of time you've had, I can imagine your devastation. You were probably each other's first everything, and you've basically had her as a girlfriend for a third of your life. The relationship is over. What she did to you is unforgivable. To betray you in your own home with someone you live with is devastating. For you to catch her in the act is something you will never be unable to see. You must know that this is over. You also must be prepared for her to use everything she knows about you, knowing that she knows you better than anyone, to try to get forgiveness, or even for you to take her back. You must not worry about revenge. You must not worry about their feelings. Don't worry about her family, your family, etc. You must only worry about yourself. Every day remind yourself that you deserve better. You did nothing wrong. Heck, you had extra time and went to make her something special. She had time when she thought you wouldn't be there to bone your roommate on your couch. You didn't do anything to cause this, and you deserve better. Change her name on your phone to "Don't get back together" and be strong. Don't worry about the tears. You're going to cry. Real men cry. It's okay. Let it out. Then stand tall. You are the good guy. You found out before you had kids. You found out while you're still in your prime. You were extremely lucky to find out when you did. So take this as it is. Focus on yourself. Update. First, I want to thank everybody for the help and many kind words that were sent my way. Seriously, thank you. I'll start with what happened afterwards and work my way up to today, and that's the only reason that I'm making an update only a week later. Emily, my best friend's sister, texted both of them informing them that I'd be coming by to get my stuff. Emily would be going to my ex-significant other's. I went with my best friend, Trevor, and Emily to get some stuff from my apartment. My roommate wasn't there, but he left me a note saying that he's sorry and attempting to explain the situation. I threw it away after reading it, grabbed some stuff, and loaded it into my car. I drove back to their house. while the two of them then went to my ex's apartment to grab my stuff. My ex was there, and at first, she wouldn't let them in. She yelled at them to go away through the door, and after about 15 minutes of them sitting there, she eventually opened up and let them in to collect my things. They grabbed my PS4, movies, cookware, clothes, and some random other things. She cried the whole time and asked them if they would tell me that she's sorry. It was a one-time thing. I would do anything to change it. They didn't say a word, although she was crying into an older hoodie of mine, so they left that there. I'm not too torn up about that. I told a few select friends what happened and asked if they would watch the doors to my classroom when I had classes, as I didn't want to cause a scene. Nothing on Wednesday, but she stood outside one of my teaching classes on Thursday. I went in through a different door, and thankfully she didn't see me. Friday is a day that really upsets me. As I said in the last post, in a reply, I'm an education major, and I have my practicums this semester. Our education building has 2 floors, and the first floor is a laboratory school, an elementary school, that has a lot of education students come in and do their practicums, or observations, while the second floor has classrooms for education students. My practicum is with 3rd graders, and she stood outside the door to my 3rd grade classroom, waiting for me. We have name tags, and only have to show those to the desk to get in. She used to be an education major, but switched majors, therefore it wasn't too uncommon for her to be in there. I saw her, and my heart immediately sank. I decided to just walk by her and ignore her. She saw me and started crying and trying to talk to me. I didn't say a word, but just walked into the classroom. My cooperating teacher asked her to leave, but all my students that were there had already seen it. They started bombarding me with questions, but I just stuck with, "It's nothing important right now. We can talk about it later, but we need to focus on our learning right now." But honestly, it killed me inside. I explained the situation to my cooperating teacher and asked her to watch out for if she came back again. She said that she would and would ask her to leave if she saw her again. I received a few text messages this weekend from her and her roommate. That was extremely annoying. I got an insane amount of phone calls and I got a ton of Facebook messages. Trevor and Emily also received quite a few as well. I worked all weekend and threw myself into lesson plans and projects due. I also went and played a round of golf with some friends. Today is really why I'm updating. I got a text from my ex at around 7:15 p.m. She told me that she was pregnant and that it was mine. I screenshot the conversation. I'm trying to stay calm, but if she truly is pregnant and the baby is mine, then that throws a whole wrench into everything. Can anybody give me some advice on what to do next? I'm trying to remain as calm as I can, but this is really big and I'm starting to freak out. Thank you all. Here's the text conversation. I'm sorry for what I did. I'm sorry that I messed up our future, but I think that we just got a second chance. I know that this isn't what you wanted to hear, but I'm pregnant. Maybe this is why I made my mistake. You can't use a pregnancy to explain cheating. It doesn't work like that. I want a pregnancy test. Not one from the store, but to actually go to the doctor and have them do that. If it turns out that you are pregnant, then I want a paternity test. Fine. I'll call the doctor tomorrow and set up an appointment. But if I'm pregnant, can we have a second chance? No. All I want to know from you is when and where the appointment is. She seems too calm for this to just be a joke. She's been batshit crazy for almost the past week, and now she's extremely calm. I'm honestly extremely scared. Here's a comment before the second update. Look at what you know. Make each piece of information a bit of data. Then plot all of that data onto a graph, where the horizontal line is time elapsed, and the vertical line is extremeness level of her behavior. Where the two lines meet is the moment you walked in on her and your roommate having sex, in what was most definitely not their first time. I'm sure, if you did this, you would notice that overall, She has been escalating her behavior. Initially she locked your friends out for 15 minutes, then let them in. Then she stands outside your class building. Then she stands outside your classroom, etc. All the while you stay firm and consistent and do not acknowledge her or give her the relief that she wants, and just getting to talk to you for a second will relieve some pressure from her, no doubt about it. Finally, she tells you something that she knows you are going to have to respond to. Do not trust her. Tell Trevor and Emily the new development and let them be your liaison. There are plenty of ways she can verify the pregnancy in an objective way that will likely put the proof to her lie. When she refuses, say won't piss on the stick in front of Emily for example, or won't get a blood test. If on the off chance she is telling the truth, then your next move should be to get a prenatal DNA test performed to determine the paternity of the child. You honestly cannot say with any confidence the child is yours. You were not the only one who was sleeping with her at the time of conception. And as I said above, it is very unlikely that you just so happened to walk in the one time that happened. She is trying to manipulate you because she is in free fall and you are not moving to catch her. She is trying to become the victim. First by elaborate displays of remorse, and finally by likely inventing some story to try to get you to give in to her. Keep your wits about you, like you have this whole time. Do not be reactionary about this news. I would suggest continuing to maintain no contact until the paternity test is performed. Probably will never get that far as I said. Again, I'm sorry for your situation. Just keep putting one foot ahead of the other. Update 2. Hey everybody. I've been asked multiple times for an update, but it's been super busy, and I actually have a little time today, so I thought I would update everybody on my situation. My ex made a doctor's appointment for a couple of days after my last post. She sent me a text with a date and time and asked me if I would be going with her. I told her that I wouldn't, but that I wanted Emily to go with her. She straight up refused and said this was our baby and that if I didn't go, she would cancel the appointment and wait until I was ready to go. We argued for a little bit until I gave in. I told her that I would meet her there and I would stay for the entire thing, but I was going to be stone silent the whole time unless the doctor asked me a question. Her appointment was at 9:15 that morning. I showed up at 9:10 and sat across from her in the waiting room. The doctor called her back a couple of minutes later. They talked for a couple of minutes. She asked her some questions, and then she had her go to the restroom to pee in a cup. I made sure that her purse and everything stayed in the room. Somebody warned me she would be crazy enough to buy a pregnant woman's pee, and you sat instead. After she gave the cup to the doctor left, and then she tried to talk to me. I sat there and ignored her and texted my friends until the doctor came back and confirmed that she was pregnant. I started shaking and tried to control my breathing, but my ex was so excited and the doctor was excited with her. Then came the ultrasound and my ex was roughly 11 weeks pregnant. After a couple of minutes, I excused myself and left. I texted her as I was leaving that, before anything else happens, we are having a paternity test. First off, non-invasive prenatal testing is super expensive. I told her that I would pay for half, but that if the child wasn't mine, then she would have to pay me back for that. She told me that her parents were willing to pay for it. Her parents have more money than I would know what to do with, like millionaires' money. I told her that my ex-roommate was taking the test as well. She said that he didn't need to, and I snapped saying that I guess I can wait another 6 months. Because they won't put my name on the birth certificate until they prove I'm the father. She finally agreed with me and made him take the test as well. There's a place around here that actually specializes in DNA testing, so we were able to get in just a couple days later. She brought her mom with her. They told us that they would have the results in 10 days and that we could come pick them up or they could mail them to us. We said we would pick them up in person. I was too nervous to go to the results. Emily and Trevor both went in place for me. According to them, my ex wasn't happy that I wasn't there and almost refused to let them see the results, but her mom told her that she could understand why I didn't want to be there. I'll never forget that phone call from Emily. Emily, hey, me, well, Emily, you're not the dad. You should have seen the look on your ex-roommate's face though. He's the dad. I didn't make this clear. Sorry. At this point I squealed like a little girl. My ex attempted to text me later, and I just ignored all of them. Both of her parents did text me though, saying that they wish me well with teaching. That really meant a lot to me. As for other things in my personal life, I've gotten a new apartment over by Trevor and Emily. My ex doesn't know where I live at the moment. Her number is blocked. She's blocked on Facebook and everything else that I could think of to block her on. I've joined a summer baseball league and I play for that 2 times a week. I'm volunteering in the preschool classrooms on campus in the mornings. My job is giving me more hours requested. I'm taking 3 summer classes and I'm the ASL tutor for the summer classes now that they have started. I also bought a bike and now I ride that daily as well. I also got a kitty. His name is Jasper. And I read a lot more now. I realize that I wasn't reading as much as I normally did while I was with my ex, but I've gotten back to reading. My friends are saying that I'm too busy now and that I have even less time than I did when I was with my ex. I like that. The busier I stay, the less I think about her and the happier I am. There's a week between the summer classes that I'm tutoring this summer, and Emily, Trevor, Emily's best friend, and I are going on a 5-day hiking/camping trip. I want to say thank you for everybody that helped me through this. The support that you've all given me has really helped me. There are still the people that are saying this isn't true, but I'm receiving a lot more positive support than negative. No, Emily and I are not going to date. For the many people that have asked, I'm sorry to disappoint you and say that we are not. I don't see her in a romantic way, and I plan on staying single for a while. I'll be finishing up my BS in elementary education this upcoming school year, and then I still need to decide whether to continue schooling and pursue my MS in deaf education and deaf studies, or whether I should start teaching. Here are some comments after the final update. Wow, thank God. And it confirms that her sleeping with your roommate was not a one-time thing, since she's 11 weeks and you only walked in on them about a month ago. I can't imagine the relief you must feel. Wishing you a long and happy life. Here's the next comment. Congrats on not being the dad. I'm guessing her parents were good with you before this madness. I know this may sound weird, but I'm glad you found out about the cheating before this pregnancy stuff came out. I have a feeling you would have never questioned it otherwise. You mentioned the roommate left you a note that explained it. How do scumbags like him rationalize such behavior? Here's the next comment. Reddit's own real-life episode of Maury. Sorry for everything you've had to go through, OP, but the way you've handled this crappy situation is inspiring. Congrats. Thanks for watching.